right? So yesterday, we discussed about, the attendees last night. We were able to discuss about the website. Um, why do you think, as freelancer, we need to have our own website for our portfolio? Why not just create a PDF file and compile everything I did in one file and just send it to a prospect client? Wait, what do you think?
Well, to be honest, I don't have a portfolio yet because I'm still working on it, and I'm trying to search for the sample on the file provided. But
Mm-hmm.
one thing that I realized while I'm doing the Facebook page is that
Mm-hmm.
it is very helpful because while you are presenting your skill or
Mm-hmm.
discussing your skill to your client, you'd be able to show them as well the your portfolio, the things that you did on your own. It's like showing and explaining it at the same time, so they will be able to see it while you're talking about it, because it feels like it's unreal if you're just telling them that, hey, I'm good at this, I can do this, I can do that, but they don't have any proof. So how can we validate if you're telling that if you're telling true things?
Okay, that's great. Well, actually, as discussed, like what we've discussed last night, so having a website as a freelancer is not just for presentation but purposes. But the good thing of making it a website compared to just an actual page is that it's interactive.
Yeah.
Clients or customers or prospects can scroll down and up, check whatever is your work, do it more like presentable. So it's not just compiling it in a word file and this is what I did, blah blah blah, and
Yeah.
it's really not presentable. So that's really one thing why having a website is great. Now, we've
Yes.
discussed it last night, but since you weren't able to join us, I will just give like a quick overview because I want you to start creating your own portfolio. It's very important if you are a freelancer, and of course if you wanted to increase, or maybe elevate your presentation in terms of skills. At the same time, it's one way of showing, are you worth the money? Because you can
Yes.
rate yourself, increase your rate. I'm not sure, like, you've worked as a freelancer before or right now, correct?
Yes, data curator through Upwork.
Yeah, that's great. So we all started somewhere, right? But as
Yes.
we continue with this industry, we have to also improve ourselves and how we present our skills. So I will
Yeah.
just show you this is a quick overview. Charles already saw this last night, but I will just give a very quick walkthrough of what I have, like, as an example when you start creating yours. So can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Uh, yes, yes.
Awesome. Okay, so this is the first website that I created when I transitioned from the corporate world. By the way, I was in the corporate world for over 6 years. I started as a data analyst, project manager, and then I resigned as a business development officer for a international company. So when I transitioned from the corporate to the freelancing world, this is the very first website that I created. And whenever you create a portfolio, always have an about page. This is all about you. This is like any story that you can share or anything that they need to know about you. That's the about page. And then next, you should have a service page where you list down all the things that you can do, all the things that you can offer. The service page can be packaged. Like for example, if you've noticed, people would say 10 hours per week for blah 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 dollar, or 20 hours a month for this amount. So they package it according to how they wanted to offer their services. So always have the services. Try to understand what you can offer and what you can do for a client, and then put that in your service page. Now, you need to have a portfolio or sample work, sample of your output, sample of the things that you did with previous clients and how it will support your skills and how it can support what you can do and what you can offer to the client. And contact information. Every, like, you can have WhatsApp number, you can add your Viber, you can add maybe a booking link if you have Calendly or any booking applications, you can add that. So always have the contact information. And lastly, blogs is optional, but along the way, if you wanted to improve your site and you wanted, the Google crawler to find you easily, like when you search for virtual assistant and you've been consistent in feeding your website with information, because blogs help improve your site through the keywords that you're using and with the use of a proper SEO strategies. So that's just it. But of course, that it's not easy to write every now and then, especially if you have work. But along the way, if you wanted to improve your website, try to include blogs in it. Now, this is my very first website, but I haven't really touched anything in here for years. So I'm not sure if you've seen, this is my very recent, or this is my website right now, and it speaks more of the agency that I have. So since it's more of the agency, the details are not really directly about me or what I do, but it's more of what the agency can offer with the help of different VAs. Now, this is how it works, but still, I added an about page showing that this is like me as a founder and owner of the agency. But I started building my own portfolio website outside from this I Can Help VA website. So I started with this one. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it says vasarah.info. I bought the domain. I'm not sure. Are you familiar with domain, Lizette? Domain, like how to purchase a domain.
No, I'm not really familiar about.
Okay, so when you create a website, you wanted a personalized domain name, right? Like, for example,
Yes.
lizetfreelancer.com or something like that. Now, what you can do is you have to buy that domain for you to use that one. So what I usually use is namecheap.com. Here you can find, for example, what is your freelance business name?
Right
Uh,
now, I've named it as Lizzy Virtual Services.
Lidi, as in
Lizzy, Lizzy.
double Z-E-Y.
There's no E, sorry.
Okay. That
Name
Lizzie freelancing or just Lizzie
Virtual Services. It's kind of long.
virtual? Okay, let's just say that
Yeah.
you wanted that. Okay, virtual VA services. Let's just say VA services. So if you're going to search, this is how you buy the domain, okay? So you can use it or personalize it for your website. So when you search for Namecheap, you will find this. Okay, Lazy VA services is available and it's for $9.58 per year. So that's the price. For example, .com is usually expensive. So you can search for other options. We have .ai or .org, and maybe because for me I use .info, which is a bit cheaper. For you, like for example, .info, it's only $3.98 per month, per year. So that's
Mm,
cheap, right? So
yeah, yeah.
once you buy that, you can then start using that. You can use any website builder. You can use GoDaddy, you can use WordPress, you can use Squarespace. But for me, this
Oh, Daddy.
website, this very basic portfolio website it was created in Canva. Did you know that you can create websites in Canva?
So I'm just used to creating PDF file, Facebook post, stories. I
Understand.
haven't, yeah, I haven't
Explored.
explored that Canva.
So I created this using Canva and I applied the domain name that I bought, which is vasarah.info. So you can see that in my domain name. And this is still under, I'm still building this one. It's just a sample so I can show you. So about me, what I offer, the trainings that I had, samples of my work, and blah blah. I also have testimonies and of course the contact information. So that's just the flow of how you create a portfolio website. So those are just the details that you need to have in there. But make sure that in your sample works, it will really support what you can offer. So by there, you can increase your rate. Some VA starts at $2 per hour, but along the way, if you improve it, you can offer, I see VAs that are offering $20 an hour for Filipino VAs. Okay. So that is very high, for the standards right now. So we have to just improve and really improve our skills in the way that we present it in a portfolio. So always have a portfolio showing what you can do, and the best way to do that is to create a website for it, because PDF and Microsoft Word, Google Docs is very unprofessional, I would say. Not really, I don't want to say very, but it's not presentable compared to having an interactive platform for the customer to check what you can
Yeah.
do. So yeah, that is just for the website. And again, for for your hands-on experience, I want you to build your own website. You can do it anytime, but again, it's just a soft reminder that we need to have a portfolio if we are really wanted to focus on this industry. Okay, so that's a quick overview of what we discussed yesterday. But tonight, I really wanted to discuss with you the other skills that you can offer as a freelancer. Who among you here have tried transcription services, or have offered transcription services to any client or agency?
I haven't done that.
How about you, Charles? Charles, are you there? Oh,
Hello. I think
Do
I
the
already did
trial.
the trial,
oh,
in S files like that.
S files. Okay.
They will give you test files in like you will if you
Oh, okay. If you are going to apply and then
yes,
they'll give you trial test.
yes.
Okay, understood, understood. Okay, so this is one skills that I wanted to teach you guys. You can offer this as a freelancer. It's called transcription. And transcription can be in different industry. There are transcriptions that focus in medical. Most of the people that are working in here has medical background, like nurses, because they know the words, they know the terms, they're familiar with it. We also have law transcriptions. They focus on legal transcription, especially during, there are a lot of recordings when it comes to legal industry, and they are the one who are experts in this because they understand the jargon, they understand the terms. And we also have general transcriptions. So general, this is where we come in. This is, what usually they want to transcribe, let's just say, a meeting. They had a meeting, clients had a meeting, they usually record the meeting, and they wanted to read what was, to have it written down. That's why they will ask a VA to transcribe it for them. And when you transcribe it to them, they some of the requests may say verbatim, which means that every words that was in the audio should be in the text. And when you say non-verbatim, that means it's clear from any kind of sentence construction, clear from any filler words. That means it should be like a blog, an article in a presentation way. But of course, it depends on what the audio is all about. So transcription is very important if you are a general virtual assistant, because it is also helpful for the client, especially if she or he has meetings and podcast events, and they need it to be done in a Word file, or they want it to be converted in a PDF file. Now, I will show you some tips on how to do it quite like easily compared to just manually typing it. Now, the first one is using. Okay, so I'm not sure if you've used the feature of Google Documents where you can easily the system itself will write down the text, whatever you say, or the audio that you have, play during the writing. So I'll just show you an example for let's just say Google Documents. You're still seeing my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this one right here, this is the Google documents, like Google Docs. And sometimes if there are thoughts and things in our head that we wanted to um to encoding it really takes a lot of time. So what you can do is you can do the tools and voice typing. So if you use the voice typing, whatever you're saying in here will be encoded. So as you can see, while I'm talking, Google Documents is writing it down. So I don't have to encode it. I just have to wait for Google Docs to finish. And then, after it's done, I can just fix it to make it more presentable. So this is Google Voice. Now, the thing here is that this is you should be the one speaking the words. But what if you have a audio file that you need to transcribe? So there are tips and tricks on how to do it. Sometimes some people use their phone for the audio, and then with the speaker they need to put that somewhere in the microphone, and the voice can capture the audio from your phone. So that's one way to do it. And sometimes it may take a while, especially if the audio is in your phone. But again, if you are a VA and you wanted to take down notes of what's in your head, you can use this one instead of typing it manually. So I really find this very helpful, especially if I have thoughts in my head and I wanted some sort of a diary for what's in my head. I just have to talk and talk and talk and let the software do it on its own. So as you can see, while I'm talking, it's still writing. So that's Google Voice. Now, the next thing that I wanted to share with you is called Otter.ai. This is a platform. This offers free credit for 3 uses, like 3 audios. So what you can do in here is you just have to upload the audio and then wait for a few seconds or minute, and this will transcribe the audio. For example, I'm not sure if I have already things in here. For example, this one. This is an audio. And then, because I had a client that is an inventor. And usually as an inventor, he has a lot of things in his head, and he just talk on a record whatever he's thinking and he's planning to do, and send it to me to transcribe. And it's really time consuming, especially very techy terms. So I use this software to make it a bit easier. So you just have to upload the audio, and in a few minutes or seconds, the transcription will, show up. And you can even write the speaker of the audio, whoever is the speaker of that part. So this is Otter.ai, and though this is not a free account, but you can have three credits. What I do is I have several email address. So if I needed, like if I max out the 3 in one account, I'll just have to create another one using a different email address. And then I have another 3. So it's just a strategy, because if you don't want to spend money on things that is not really, because it's quite expensive or whatever, unless your task really involves a lot of transcription, then you can recommend the client. We can recommend to the client that can we subscribe to Otter, because this will really makes things easier, and I can transcribe as many as whatever in a few hours. So sometimes as a freelancer, we also have to speak up. Whatever we can suggest that would help the flow of the work easier, not just on your end, but on the company side. Because if you have a system, you can do other things. You can help him with other things, not just focus your hours on these tasks, correct? So this is Otter.ai, and you can try it out if you are going to do a transcription services. And there are a lot of agencies slash companies slash website that are offering solely transcription, and you can apply as a transcriber. So if you are going to work as a transcriber, it is, the thing that you can just make sure that you have is the patience and a really, really deep understanding of what's going on in your head, because their language, their slangs can be a barrier to come up with the right text. But again, if you're used to it, it's really a convenient job. You can do it anytime, and you can just listen to the audio and just type and encode and whatever. So yeah, transcription can be something that you can offer. Next, What I wanted to talk about is email management. I know that I discussed this in the first week, but I haven't really dived into what is email management. Email management is a very important skill to have as a virtual assistant because again, from the word assistant, you need to be able to assist client in any way possible that would make their life easier because that's our goal. Make their life easier. That's why we're here to offer our service. Now, I talked about email management last time, and it was more on creating a folder for all the things, like all the coming emails to be grouped together according to whatever company clients or blah blah blah. So I have here, as you can see, I have here several folders with color codes. These are for my clients, so whenever I receive an email from any of them, and I created a filter, so it will direct in here. Lizette, have you tried creating a filter on Google Documents? Google, I mean Gmail.
No, I haven't tried that. But before, when I'm working as a call center agent and we're using Outlook, we
Mm-hmm.
also have that kind of setup wherein I will do a filter. Like for example, if it's from my team leader, if it is from our OM,
Mm-hmm.
then I will put a label and then their email will be directly sent on that specific folder. But I haven't tried that with Google, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go ahead and do it as well. So I'll
Oh,
just check it out later.
okay, it's great. So Gmail is commonly used right now, based on my experience. It's very commonly used, and I will show you how to do filters, so you can just apply it after. Once you can create a folder. Here it's called labels, but basically it's just a folder. You can click the plus sign, and let's say this is for Lizette. Okay. And then if that folder is under a different folder, you can find it or you can choose anything in here. But since I want this folder to be just the main folder, I just have to create. And when you create, there should you can click this one, this something like this one near the search, and this is where you create the filter. For example, I will every emails that I will receive from you will direct to that folder. I can encode your email address. So again, what's your email address?
Oh, that's L Cardino, LCAR. Yeah, that one.
Okay. So whenever I receive an email from your email address, I will have to we can create the filter and then select apply the label and choose the folder. So we've created Lizette right here. So you just have to click that, and you can also click whatever is you think is applicable and then just create the filter. So from there,
Mm.
whenever I receive your email, it will be in this folder. Now I wanted to apply a color for you, so I can just click on the three dots right here, choose a color, and let's just say I want you to be green. And there you go. So green. And one of this is what I thought I thought on the first week. But what I wanted to add in the email management is how you actually organize the email. Because for me myself, I don't really have the time to manage my email. I have 9,000 and I really haven't read anything whatever, but I just don't have the time to unsubscribe, blah blah blah. But if you are going to manage an email account of a client, the first thing that you may want to talk about with the client is who are the recipient or who are the possible contacts that would be tagged as important in their contacts. And then next would be how like how the client wanted to organize or folder the emails that are coming in. Is it by name, by company, or maybe by subscriptions or something like that? They can do that. So you have to plan it out first with the client on how they want their email account to be organized. Now, once you have that, there are still emails that are not you're not really sure how to tag them. So you can make use of the color coding. So for example, if you click the star, you can have multiple colors. You can say the question mark is I'm not sure what this email is all about. The exclamation point is this might be important. You may want to read this one. And the yellow might be this is just a reminder. So you can have a let's just say a legend for each emails so that when client log into his or her emails, he will then check the very important emails because you tag it as exclamation point. This is important. So this should be on top of your list when you check your email. So that's one thing. But how can we create these tags in here? So you can find that in the settings and just click see all settings, and then you will find, if you scroll down, you will find the stars at the bottom, this one. So you can choose an option. I can remove the blue and replace it with the red, or I can add the purple as well. And that's it. So that means I'm using this tags and I still have several options. You can use this one as well to means that you need to forward it to somewhere and blah blah blah. And of course, don't forget to save. To save. So once you save that, it will already appear in your email. If you check, okay, I have the purple, I have the red, I have the exclamation point, the forward, and the question. Now you can use this legend, again, put meaning in the legend, inform client what this means so that he will be notified which is important. So other thing is that there is an option in Gmail that you can easily filter which is important and which is not. So you can click the important first. So whenever client open the email, Google's system will categorize which is important, and Google will show the important emails on top. So there is a segregation. So you can test that out. You can play around with the features, and there's still a lot. So this is one way for you to be able to easily see what is going on in the email, and whatever you start and whatever you tag, you can find that in the start. So you can see all the legends that are here. So that means these are the things that he needs to see first because I mark it and there's a tag and he needs to be informed what is all about. So that's one way to do an email management. Email management is you will also be in charge of replying emails. Sometimes they will trust you with how to respond to their correspondence on their email. So of course, having the fluency in speaking and writing in English is also very important when you do this kind of tasks. So that's email management. Do you have any questions?
I just have a question. I'm just
Sure.
curious because with Facebook page you can task an admin, an editor. How about with email management? Do you have the logins of or the credential of your client, or they can also assign like an admin that will manage their email?
Well, the thing about Gmails is that you cannot assign admins, as far as I
Mm.
know. I might be corrected, whatever. But as far as I know, you cannot assign admin. So what clients do if they don't want to share your password, they will use a password organizer like LastPass. In LastPass, they can generate customized password for you. It's only for you. So that they don't have to give you their main password. It's just the password that was generated by LastPass. So if you have a client and they are going to issue you access to several accounts like Gmails, platforms, apps, websites, and they are not comfortable, because sometimes if it's their first time hiring a VA and they're not
Yeah.
comfortable sharing any passwords, you can recommend LastPass.
Okay.
LAST PASS.
Okay.
So this platform will hold all the applications, websites, emails that they have, and they can manually generate passwords for you. So yeah, that's one way. So that you
All
don't
right.
have to ask for their emails. Aside from that, do you have other questions? How about you, Charles?
Um,
Okay. Great. So last thing that I wanted to dive into before because we have 8 minutes, last thing that I feel like very important is to explore Google applications. Lizette, what Google applications have you used or tried using aside from Google Drive and Gmail?
Um, I tried using Google Docs
Google
and
Docs. What else?
mm, mm, well, that's all. That's all I'm familiar with.
Okay. So top of the list, Google knowledge is also part of the skills that you need to have if you are going to be a general virtual assistant. Why? Because most of the things are happening in Google right now, aside from just searching random things or researching. Google Apps is also very important. So we're familiar with Gmail, we are familiar with Google Drive, and we are familiar with Google Docs. We also have Google Sheet, Google Form, and we have Google. Okay, let me just refresh this a bit. Okay. And we also have Google My Business. So these are just other things. Google My Business is other subject of things that you need to learn. So I will not be diving into that, but I will show you the different applications that you must learn to use in this platform. Okay. Let me just open this. Okay. So who among you here have created a Google form? Google form.
No, I
Is it
haven't tried
Charles?
that
Yeah, I tried.
one.
Okay, so you're okay with okay, so now you're seeing my screen, correct? Can you
Yep.
see that I'm scrolling
Yes.
on the apps? Okay. So Google Drive, we had business, Google My Business. This one is another thing, so you can explore it later on. So we have Google Calendar for scheduling bookings and meetings and even your own schedule. We have Google Maps, of course. Google Maps is what we're using it most of the time, I guess, for navigation. And we have Google Play, of course, YouTube, Gmail, Google Meet for meetings, same with Zoom. I'm pretty sure that you heard about this, but you haven't really realized it's part of the app, but that's it. Google Photos is a very helpful tool if client wanted to share photos with you not on Dropbox or something. You can use Google Photos because they can folder it and just upload, especially if you're doing social media and they are uploading recent images that they want you to use on social media. They can just folder it in Google Photos and you can just grab it in there. Now, other thing that I wanted to share aside from doc, sheet, and slide is what we call travel. The travel here is very useful if you are a VA that is also helping with planning an itinerary for the client, like travel itinerary. So you can use this one tool to check flights. You can use this tool to check hotels. If you're like a VA and client wanted, can you like check what is the most like I wanted to can you arrange an itinerary for me when I visit to blah blah blah, and you can use this to check for flights. So if, for example, for this one, you can just compile them in a Google Sheet or how you present it. You can add the link. So this is the flight that I found that might be good for you because of the time, the whatever, it's direct flight or what. You can just paste the link. You can share it to them. For example, this one, I feel like I wanted to have that flight, and you can just, explore this one. Okay, this is the other things that you can use, and you can share this link to the client. For example, you can share this link to the client. There is a share button at the top. You can get the link and add it to your Google Sheet. So it's easier for you to present what you planned for the client. Now, aside from flights, of course, you can also check the hotels, even the things to do. Like these are the usual things they'll ask, like what are your suggestions, what should we do on our vacation. So you can explore things to do and see what's the best, or what's the events, activities that you can suggest. So that's things to do. And travel here will take note of, you can do it here directly, or you can just have options here, and you can even see some other vacation rentals aside from hotels, vacation rentals like Airbnb, VRBO. So you can also find something that is similar in here. So again, the good thing about this one is I can share the link, compile it in a sheet, the flight details, the things to do, the hotels or the vacation rentals, and just send it over. Okay, this is what you can do on this time in the morning, at noon. This is where you can do your lunch, or you can have your lunch and dinner, and so on and so forth. So that is Google Travel. I'm not sure if you guys have you are you like aware that there is Google Travel on Google?
No.
No,
No.
right?
Yeah, most of the time we'll check Airbnb or Agoda, other booking websites.
True. Because right now, if you're going to find sources from different platform, the thing is there's a lot of website and it's chaotic, right? This is where I found the hotel, this is the site, this is where I found the flight details, and this is another site. So it's chaotic, and if you wanted
Yeah.
something organized, so you may want to explore that one. um so that is all for tonight. And do you have other questions or any questions about Google Travel, blah blah blah, or other things?
I just have a question because a while ago for the name for the website, you mentioned namecheap.com where we can purchase a domain or
Yep.
for our own site. You've mentioned other three things. I just forgot to take notes of it. I've heard this a lot about GoDaddy in the other two.
Oh,
What are
you can
those?
try GoDaddy, Squarespace. You can try Wix. This you can access them for free, and of course Canva.
Okay. So this is where you will create your web
Yes,
page.
website,
Okay.
the
Thank
actual
you.
website. So it's called Website Builder.
Our
And once
website.
you've created the website, there is an option there to add the domain name that you purchased in Namecheap.
All right. Thank you so much.
So I hope you learned something for tonight. And if you have any questions, email me.